All right, guys, this is going to be a breakdown of your InBody scan sheet. So everyone should have gotten this scan. And what this is going to do, I want to help you understand some of the highlights that you're going to need to know as you're going through this challenge and what you're trying to accomplish along this way. So a lot of numbers on this paper, and they're all very valuable. However, there's 4 that we're going to track along the way during this next 40 days. The first one's going to be your skeletal muscle mass. What we want to do is we want to measure how much lean muscle mass do you have on your body, and are we actually improving that lean muscle mass throughout the challenge? Because what we know is that the more lean muscle mass you have on your body, the greater metabolic change you're going to see, the greater your basal metabolic rate will be, the more fat you will burn at rest. There's so many metabolic improvements that come when you just have more lean muscle on your body. So we want to make sure that we get a baseline here, and then we're going to check that lean or that skeletal muscle mass as we go in the end. Second one's going to be your body fat percent. Obviously, we want as lower body fat percent. So what we want to look at is for men and women it should be different. For men, you want to be somewhere between 10 to 18, and for women, you want to be between 18 to 28. Okay, that's the ideal range of body fat percent. Now, when you're looking at this, whatever your number is, here's what we want. I don't need you to make sure that you get into that range in 40 days. Let's make this reasonable. We want to make sure that whatever that number is, that it's less in 40 days, and that this is a pursuit to get better, so that body fat percent continues to get closer to that range as time goes on, and we keep working on it. So I don't want you feeling like a failure if it's not perfect in 40 days. That's not the goal. But we want to make sure that you're looking at those ranges for your normals. And again, the less body fat you have on you, the healthier everything is going to be realistically in the body, the more metabolically active you will be. So body fat percent. The third one is going to be visceral fat. Now, this is a big one. This is one that you don't get to see when you're just standing on a scale. This is what is the fat that's actually sitting on organs. Now, the more visceral fat you have, typically the more toxic people become. So we want to make sure that you have less fat sitting on your organs, making it more difficult for these organs to function. So we want to see that number low. So ideally, that number should be below a 10. Okay. Anything over a 10, you're at risk for metabolic disease. So again, the goal over time is to make sure that number is below a 10. And the last one's going to be your BMR, or your basal metabolic rate. So that's going to be some number, probably between 1,500 to over 2,000. And what this number represents is how much your body is burning calories at rest. So what that number shows you is if you woke up and did nothing all day long, you just binge watched Netflix or whatever it was, if you just sat on the couch all day, that's how many calories your body burns at rest. So what that helps you understand is that if we want to be losing weight, then we need to be mindful of that number of how many calories we're eating, and we need to be burning more than that number. So throughout the day, I need to be burning more than I'm consuming. Ideally, you want this number to be as high as you can get it, right? Because the higher that number, the hotter my furnace gets, and the more my body is metabolically burning fat throughout the day without me doing anything. So I want that number to be as high as possible. So at the end of the 40 days, you just want that number higher. All right. Those are the 4 things that we're going to look at: skeletal muscle mass, body fat percent, your visceral fat, and then your basal metabolic rate. We're going to track those 4 things throughout the challenge here. This is going to be awesome. Good luck.